Bridge Award is it's an honor to receive it, and I think it truly took a village to get us to where we are today, and it goes back many years. The measure was originally passed in 2004, so board members back then, from Supervisor Paul Kelly to Mayor Sharon Wright, played a key part in getting us going. It's leaders today like David Rabbitt and Susan Gorin and Chris Rogers that have really kept the spirit and the intent of the measure going and taken us to the next level with the future measure. There's also my staff, my team. We're small and mighty. There have been 3 key project managers over the years: Guy Preston, John Maitland, and James Cameron, plus Shauna Gaz and Connie Vermeer. So that small team, core group of people working with Caltrans and their much larger team and the contractors has really been what's made this work.
There's no way these projects would have gotten done without matching funds, grant funds. There's a level of confidence with SCTA that isn't there with other transportation agencies. And that level of confidence in being good stewards of the taxpayers' money, being really efficient and effective in how they get the work done, clearly demonstrates a confidence level that these other agencies and entities will match funds and shore up the balance of what needs to take place to build these projects.
The Highway 101 project has been long planned for the community, and we really delivered on a piece of every jurisdiction's general plan by getting the roadway widened. And the reason we needed to do that was we've had a growing population, we've had a growing economy, and we will continue to into the future. And so having that additional capacity, that additional lane on Highway 101 is really important so people can move throughout the county, so that we can move goods throughout the county and through the county safely, reliably, and efficiently. It also was really an important aspect when we had to evacuate with wildfires. That evacuation went more smoothly because we had that additional lane on 101, and it helped a lot after the disasters when we had a lot of truck traffic with debris removal and things like that. So, the corridor was meant to be 3 lanes in each direction. It just took us a minute to get there. Now that we have it, I think everyone's really recognizing and appreciating the value of it. And it is truly like the delivering on what was long planned for.
Building projects is not easy because there's always some issues and problems that we have to solve, and there is a trust that has been developed, and they're involved in it. They come to all our meetings. It's not like they just fund and they walk away. They influence how Caltrans work with us, and they influence how we work with Caltrans.
I've been in the partnering sessions where James is as good as they get in partnering, and his ability to understand the project, look at the big picture, keep the eyes on the ball, and know what needs to get done. Where the rub areas are, and how can he support and lend a hand in making the project better. But it only starts from the top. If you don't have a commitment like Suzanne's commitment to partnering, then everybody else thinks they're just doing it because it's the new flavor of the month.
We really try to foster a team approach at the SCTA and avoid as much as possible sort of an us and them aspect, because we're in this together, building a project for the community. And we do that by open communication, talking through problems, and we really want to be part of the team so that when issues come up, we're not in the dark. It's not out of nowhere. And when we have funding constraints, the contractor knows what's real. There's an example with SMART that we had kind of a conflict with part of a project on 101, and the timing was smart, and it took a number of meetings. But entering into it with the understanding that we were going to resolve this together, and that it wasn't just incumbent on the contractor to figure out, or that they were going to have to eat all the costs, we really try to make sure that the sentiment of the team is we're in it together and we need to figure it all out, and we will find the funding if we need to make changes when we need to.
Other things that come to mind specifically with the Petaluma River Bridge project, we had some pretty big environmental issues that we had to deal with some nesting birds, and we worked through that with Caltrans support and SCTA, and of course the environmental people, and feel like we had the support of the entire team. Very collaborative in getting those issues resolved.
The overall magnitude or scope of trying to widen 101 through Sonoma County, two projects in particular, we had to relocate mainline aqueduct for Sonoma County Water Agency. Sonoma County Water Agency has a 36-inch water line running up the slope on the west side of the freeway. In order to widen the freeway, we had to push that slope back, which would have put that 36-inch welded steel pipe sticking out in midair. So in order to make this relocation, we had to make a temporary bypass of this line, push the pipe back, cut back the slope in order to widen the freeway, and then reconnect a new line to make this thing work. Kevin Booker was instrumental. He was the key player in pulling this off. Players at this meeting: Gelati Construction, Caltrans, Sonoma County Water Agency, the City of Cotati, the City of Petaluma, North Marin Water District, and Marin Municipal Water District. Kevin Booker was taking the lead and orchestrating all of these players, making sure that each agency was represented in their needs, whether it was the City of Petaluma saying, hey, if this thing is down too long, we run out of water, we're in trouble. But all of the agencies had their different concerns with this mainline aqueduct going down. There's a lot on the line, and it would be very easy for everybody, all of these agencies, Caltrans, us at Gelati, just squawking and saying our piece, we need this, we need this, we need this. So it was extremely helpful to have Kevin there to wrangle all of us, get information from all sides of the table, combine those, help us to make agreements, figure out time frames, and we pulled the project off. It was a success. We did not have any hiccups. We made the temporary bypass. It was seamless. We made the permanent tie-in. It was seamless. No customers were affected during the work, which was fantastic.
One of the challenging and took a lot of coordination with Caltrans, SCTA, and ourselves and GBI was the Castagna project that we had and the San Antonio project that they had. So, we've all seen that picture of the two bridges, one built from this side and one built from this side, and they don't line up. It was kind of that scenario on those two jobs tying in together because, our stages never seemed to match up. So there was a lot of coordination that had to be dealt with on that, our project and their project, to come together in a nice transition.
One of the big agendas is sound walls in this area, okay? So, Connie Vermeer, who works underneath Cameron with the Transportation Authority, that's been her agenda from the very beginning, and she's very aggressive about getting it done, and they're completed. They're real clear about what they want, what they don't want, and I like that. And you can see why they want it, because these neighborhoods are directly impacted by the noise. So when you hear it, and we're in a partnering session, it seems like we all get along and we all start moving in the right direction. So
I'm always amazed at the ribbon cutting and how many different stakeholders are there to celebrate. And clearly, these projects couldn't be done without the matching funds and the grant funds and everything that the SCTA is really, really good at going out and getting.
We partner every project over $1 million, not just Caltrans or SCTA, but all projects. And, you know, through that, and we've done several projects with Caltrans and SCTA in particular, we know what we got. We know SCTA is there to help support and get out in front of, you know, mainly funding and organizing any potential hurdles. So, you know, when you know what you have with a valued partner, you're able to, sharpen your pencil, so to speak.
When you do infrastructure projects, you can't outsource it. It's happening here in Santa Rosa, in Petaluma, in the county, and that means local jobs. And we are able to really expand the number of local jobs by having our local tax measure, by doing projects like the 101 corridor, because you are bringing contractors in who are already here, but bringing their workforce in for significant jobs, tens of millions of dollars on most of these contracts. And that amplifies throughout the community. So it's not just one person with a job, it's where they spend their money, it's how they buy a home in Sonoma County, it's how they go to the grocery store and support a local vendor. All of that really comes together when you're able to do local contracts using local money.
They're not just a funding agency. They influence how they want the improvements happen, and they do it, in my opinion, for the people of Sonoma County.
Knowing you have a local measure, knowing you've got jobs coming up, that allows the contractors to hire people and retain them, and then they stay in the community, and that's a benefit overall. When voters approved the initial sales tax measure in 2004, we had a lot of work to do, and voters appreciated that. We've accomplished a lot, which is great. But I think there's also a clear recognition in the community that there's more work to do. And when we asked voters in 2020 if they were willing to let us continue to manage this local money source to dedicate to transportation, we got a resounding yes, 71%. And I think that's a testament to the work we've done, but also an appreciation and understanding that there's much more work to do. Whether it's local road maintenance, fixing bridges, building new bike paths that make everybody feel safer riding a bike, improving our transit service, all of those things are going to be part of what we do next with our renewed sales tax measure. But the partnerships with ECA and others are the reason I think we were able to go back to voters and have them trust in us to continue to do the work.
I want to send out a huge congratulations to SCTA for the Bridge Award. Their recognition for the Highway 101 corridor is perfect, ideal. I mean, they deserve it. I'm going to throw a couple bones in there, Yeah. Great work. Keep it up. Highway 37 needs some help. And by the way, Santa Rosa, downtown Santa Rosa, we need a fourth lane, I think, now. So keep working on that.
I'm really grateful for the partnership we've had with ECA, just personally and professionally. It's one of my favorite organizations to work with because John and the board are always open to hearing what's going on. They ask good questions, and they provide really great insight into what the realities are for them building the projects that we so desperately need. So having that great partnership and open lines of communication has been beneficial for us as an organization, and I think that helps the community at large. So I'm just grateful for that.
It's about the traveling public getting a better flow of traffic through the area, or whatever that is. Even pedestrians on the trail, they're worried about whether we're shutting them down and how we're going to get them through. There's a total concern about that, where I see in other agencies they get a little too more bureaucratic. Next thing you know, they're more worried about silly things, where this agency seems to stay focused on what's right.
The 101 corridor has been challenging, as we all know, for the last 30, 40 years. And through SCTA's leadership, we now have this great gateway to the North Bay that makes it more comfortable, safer, and more enjoyable to share the beauty of our live and work environment.
We would not be getting this award, and you would not be talking to me if I hadn't had the trust of voters put in our agency, and if we hadn't had the success of our local sales tax measure. That local measure really set the tone for us to be able to go and leverage state and federal money. There were multiple opportunities for us to get state Prop 1B bond funds that could have gone elsewhere. But because we were ready to go, because we had our local money, because we had a good team approach, we went to the state and said, hey, don't send that money somewhere else. We need it for the Old Redwood Highway interchange in Petaluma, or we need it for the highway widening to get up to Airport Boulevard, or we need it for the Petaluma River Bridge. Those are all projects that came about because of an ability for us to negotiate with the state from a position of confidence, because we had delivered on early phases, we had saved money, and we had some local money to match. So our partners at the state and federal level were like, all right, we trust you, we're going to give you a little bit more. So that local match was critical. The team approach and in project delivery was critical, and our timing was good. So sometimes it's a little bit of luck as well.